Lovely to have our consumer rights specialist back in the programme, Neil.
Hello again.
I guess
Hi guys.
it's nice to have a catch-up time with. There's quite a few things on the horizon that could potentially change our lives. Chung chung chung.
What we thought we'd do today, we'd have a little catch-up on some of the different consumer issues we've been talking about over the last year. But first things first, the sales are started or about to start.
This is it.
So cut price shopping, guys. This is the only time of year that I actually get interested in shopping. The sales start in Spain. They're about now, 1st of July. In some places, they've started a bit earlier online and they go through to the end of September. So this is really, although it's not the legal sales period anymore in Spain, since 2012 people can put sales on at any time. It's a really good time to go out and do your shopping.
Yeah, particularly if you want to get the summer clothes and those things that they're worried they're going to have left after the season.
It's when I always buy my summer stuff because there's some really good things on. And the law applies is that the item that's reduced has to have been on normal price for 30 days. The discount has to be clearly shown, the original price. And they have to treat it as if it's a normal item. So if you want to take it back, give your money back. None of this, no returns and sales.
Oh, okay. That's, really that's nice to know.
Yeah,
so this is one of the
really
key
nice
times of years if you're new to Spain to go out and get your reduced goods.
Noted.
Yeah.
Okay. Couple more updates. Cheap train travel on local trains is finally ending for those that travel frequently. The government was going to stop it. Then they continued it again. It's ending. But the good news is if you travel on local cercanías trains, for €20 a month, you can still get like an all-in ticket and travel. So that's a very good piece of news if you're a frequent traveller in Spain.
That's good.
And if you're a young person, through till September, the end of September, there's some amazing train travel discounts. Go into the Renfe website. It's a government programme. Go into the Renfe website, the Spanish side. They forgot to put it on the English side for some reason. It's called Verano Joven, young summer. I mean, virtually cheap rail travel as well. Other update on something we talked about a while ago now is we talked about how the government was clamping down on these spam calls on our mobile phones at all hours of the day. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Well, finally, you might have noticed you're getting less calls recently in the last few weeks.
I'm thinking that when you said that, I definitely am getting
from
less.
mobile phones because it's now illegal. You can still get calls, but they have to be from a fixed line that's registered and recorded. And of course, a lot of these spam callers don't want to do that. So a bit of good news.
Yes, because that is really annoying.
It's so annoying.
Isn't it? I know.
But it's ending. 3 more things to look out for that we'll be tracking in the coming months. Last time I was here, we talked about how smoking on restaurant terraces is still allowed in most parts of Spain, and it's quite a controversial issue. Well, the government is driving forward with a very aggressive anti-smoking law. It's going through Parliament at the moment, which really is going to effectively ban smoking in an awful lot of public places, not just in restaurant terraces. They're even going to ban the sale of these disposable vapes as well. Wow. So there's a very aggressive law going through. The Spanish government is quite precarious at the moment, as those of you who've been following the press might have been reading. There's some corruption allegations. So it's going to be harder, I think, for governments to get bills through Parliament. But let's follow that as the autumn goes on. Mm-hmm. The other issue is they're not going to ban alcohol. Don't worry, actually. But they are driving ahead with lowering the drink drive limit to a really very low level.
I mean, it already is much lower than the UK.
Yeah.
So obviously that means like no drinking and
Just
driving.
don't drink.
Yeah.
Well, the original,
or if you drink, don't drive.
Yeah.
At all.
Exactly.
The original proposal was actually any alcohol in person's blood. But then there's people who go out and have, I don't know, a sherry trifle. I mean, it's serious this, or a Berth Bourguignon that has a bit of wine in.
Wow.
And you come back, then that could send you over the limit. So it's a very, very low threshold they're going to put on it. And again, that is going ahead as well.
Wow.
And being put
Crepe
through.
Suzettes.
In fairness, like I didn't think that through. I was a bit like, I'll get nicked for having trifle.
Yeah, or a tiramisu.
and things like that. So, but basically, it's going to mean if you have a decent sized glass of wine or an average sized beer, you're going to be over the limit if it goes through.
Yeah.
And the third thing, finally, not at a Spanish level, but an EU level. Remember about a year ago we talked about how the Spanish government wants to fine Ryanair and the budget airlines for this kind of grey area about taking hand luggage on, that they bill you for taking hand luggage on, the sizes aren't clear and everything like that. It's very controversial. And Spain's leading the way on this and wanted to impose huge fines. Well, like so much in the EU, it's gone to Brussels. The EU Commission is actually at the moment finding in the favour of the airlines and saying no, as long as you have a small piece of hand luggage, these big things that go above you're going to have to pay for. But the MEPs, the European MEPs, in the last week have said, no, we don't want that. We think that you should be giving them free. So it's all kicking off in Brussels, and we're going to find out in the next few months.
Oh, watch this space.
What the rule is. So Consumer Affairs, watch this space.
Thank you.
Thank you.